Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for coming back and for your support. Today, I'm going to talk about sleep and why it's important and share my sleep journey with you. Sleep can have a major impact on many facets of your life. There's lots of research out there that shows having insomnia and sleep disturbances can have long-term impacts on your health, especially in terms of longevity. That could be related to heart disease, putting one at risk for obesity, and also putting one at risk for being overweight, as well as diabetes. So sleep and lack thereof of sleep can impact one's ability to be healthy in the long term. The reason this is important because this channel is about adopting a healthy lifestyle. So how do we get there? Sleep is obviously one of the major important factors and key indicators of health in one's life. And I'm going to share my journey with you today and where I am in my sleep journey because it's very much a focal point for my health journey. And lastly, a lot of people want to lose weight. That could be one of your many goals in adopting a healthy lifestyle. And there is a direct relationship between sleep and weight loss. So please hit the like button. When you're looking at adopting a keto lifestyle diet, mindset matters as well as adopting healthy habits. And sleeping is a healthy habit. So hit the like button. We want to get this video out into the YouTube universe and do your part. So like the video and let's get the word out about how sleep is an important part of health. Okay, so let's dive into the topic. I've had sleep disturbances all my life, and my sleep journey started way long ago. And I thought the way to tackle this was to, just try and attack it with meditation and mindset tricks as well as vitamins. So for many years, I threw thousands of dollars at doctors and coaches, books, and vitamins, to say the least, to try and tackle this problem. And in 2012, my naturopathic doctor at the time mentioned that I may want to look into getting a sleep study. And at that time, the only option you really had was to go to a sleep clinic. Now, anytime I've slept anywhere besides my own bed, the sleep would just be awful. Like, I literally would not sleep all night. So I didn't really see the value in that. Not only that, I was way lighter than I am now, probably at least by 50 pounds. And I thought, I am a skinny person. There's no way I should have to or even need a sleep study. I was just aghast. I couldn't imagine. In fact, I didn't think that people of average to lower weights would need potentially a sleep study and may potentially have sleep apnea. I always thought that sleep apnea was correlated with weight, and that if you get heavier, the weight on your chest would be part of the problem. This is a very common misconception, and many people think this. So let me blast that myth out of the water. You can be skinny as a beanpole, or you could be an average weight and you could have sleep apnea. In fact, you could have a child and that child could have sleep apnea. Sleep apnea is a lot more common than we think. So don't rule it out. And snoring, by the way, is not cute. If you do any type of snoring, like on a nightly basis, every single night, please go get a sleep study. So what I'm going to do is share my journey and the things I've tried and how I've gone in and out of various treatments and all that stuff so that you guys can learn what options are out there. I can't tell you what to do, and I can't, diagnose your problem. I can't provide recommendations. So by sharing my journey, I hope this gives you more information on how you can improve your health. So why is sleep so important to health? Many doctors, many health leaders out there, many practitioners consider health one of the main foundational pieces for health. And that is absolutely true. If you can't sleep, your body is not resting and repairing, and so is your brain. In fact, your brain does a lot of work at night. Actually, your brain is very active at night, but it's doing a lot of different activities. It's kind of like a computer doing its backup at night. So it's doing all this work and it's like reorganizing, redoing stuff, and it's getting ready, to basically do its job the next day. Not only that, your body needs the rest because your entire body goes through repair overnight. Your organs, every single part of your body is doing something at night and it needs the rest, absolutely. So what are some of the long-term impacts of not sleeping? Well, there are relations. Having sleep apnea can relate to heart disease down the road. It can put one at risk for diabetes, and it can also put one at risk for being overweight or even obese. And there is a relationship between being obese and potentially having diabetes. So all of these are very serious concerns. And if you can't sleep at night, look into it. So finally, after spending thousands of dollars, I got to a point where I was like, I'm just not getting anywhere. And eventually, I got to the point where I just figured I would go get the sleep study. I've done all this stuff, it's not working out. Let's go get the sleep study. So in 2019, I got the sleep study. I did a home test, and that's what I wanted. Is I want to be as the most natural situation as possible because I think that's going to give me the best data. Why go to a sleep clinic when I already know I'm going to sleep very crappily to have that study done? I mean, just what's the point? You want to be in the best situation possible. So I got the sleep equipment and I did the test, and the results came back saying that I had mild asymptomatic sleep apnea. First, I thought, oh, wow, that's a victory. Great. And then it provided a recommendation in there that I could work with my dentist to have some sort of mouthpiece to keep my mouth in the proper posture so I would have no airway restriction. So there's two different types of sleep apnea. Central CNS, so that's like central nervous sleep apnea. It's where in your brain it basically shuts off certain neurons in the brain and you stop sleeping. That's a neurological issue. And then there's obstructive sleep apnea, OSA. Now, most people have that. That's where there is an obstruction in your airway that causes you to wake up or to stir or to switch positions. So I have mild asymptomatic OSA, and I thought, yay, that's a victory. I'm mild. It's not going to be as serious on my health as it could be. So I went to my dentist and I said, look, I want to start working on a treatment plan to correct this. And I thought about the device. I even bought kind of like one of those off-market devices, or supposedly a snoring device that you can buy, and you place it in your teeth at night, and it kind of supposed to keep your mouth open as you're sleeping. And I just didn't like that. And I went to my dentist and I said, hey, I want to start working on this. And he said, well, you have a crossbite, we can start doing these things. And so he wrote up a treatment plan. And also at the time, I had been doing a lot of research around tongue tie and how that impacts eating and sleep. Jaw development, and how in our Western culture, our faces are getting longer. And so also with tongue tie, it's tethering the tongue to the floor of your mouth like this and not up like this, which is better mouth posture. Your tongue is supposed to sit up on the roof of your mouth. So all of these things kind of coalesce, and I've done my research, and I thought, okay, I'm going to start my daughter on the proper treatment plan because I could save her years worth of troubles, right? And what I think is that it would be lower cost medically to fix it. So we had her tongue tie release and we put her in myofunctional therapy. So she's learning how. She had her tongue tie release. So they snip down here. And so that essentially releases the tongue so that it can sit on the roof of your mouth. Your tongue is actually supposed to hold up your skull. And not only that, it's supposed to help the bones expand here so you have enough airway to breathe at night. So all of this research coalesced, and what I've realized is that I don't have a lot of room in my mouth. So I worked with my dentist on palatal expansion with the ALF device and also correcting my bite, which it did, because I used to clench a lot because my mouth could not find the right bite. Your teeth in your mouth are like a puzzle piece. They're supposed to fit like a puzzle piece, right? So right now, you can see those gaps in my teeth, and that's because of all the years of grinding down away the enamel of my teeth, right? So I worked with my dentist to fix the crossbite. Not only that, to expand the palate. So we widened my teeth. We widened, this area, the upper part of my jaw. And so that also caused my teeth to move, and I even had a gap here. See that? A little bit of a gap. So we're fixing that with the Invisalign too. And Invisalign is also used as a tool known as palate or palatal expansion. And that becomes important because if you have sleep apnea, you have restricted airway. So your airway is more narrow. And then if your mouth is very small and you don't have enough place in your mouth to put your tongue at the roof of your mouth, your tongue's going to fall back. And that's essentially what I've been having for years. So I'm in the process of this treatment. I've had the ALF done. I'm still going through the Invisalign. And even that, I put myself into myofunctional therapy. I thought for me, I could potentially have a tongue tie. But either way, myofunctional therapy, it's MYO, myofunctional therapy, is supposed to help improve your muscles in your throat and also your mouth so that you can improve the strength of those muscles, thus reducing or limiting your tongue falling back on your mouth, but also having your tongue rest up on the ceiling of your mouth, which means it's stronger, thus less at a chance of falling back into your airways at night, would have a positive impact as well. So I'm working on the physical aspect. I came to a point in my research, so I did all this research, and this is me going to the doctors, doing the vitamin stuff. Now I'm here, and I'm working with a dentist on the physical aspect. It's like I'm going for physical therapy to improve the muscles here and my mouth and my tongue so that I can have proper posture and basically not have my tongue fall back in my throat as I'm sleeping. And the reason why I did this is because I just thought I didn't need a CPAP. A lot of people, when they get diagnosed with sleep apnea, they'll get a CPAP. And I joined a Facebook group at the time thinking, okay, well, at least let me look into this and see how people are doing with their CPAP. Maybe folks also talked about other treatments. And, I waited a couple weeks. A lot of people were always talking about troubleshooting their CPAPs. How do they keep maintenance going? If they go on a trip, do they bring a generator? All this stuff. I mean, people really do spend a lot of time around their CPAP and maintaining their practice with it, because it does force the airway open at night. The machine forces airway into the throat and keeps your throat open and expanded so you can sleep. So it can be life-changing for people. But for me, I just didn't think I needed, because one, I was mild, and then two, I was asymptomatic. So I've been going on this journey with all of this because, by golly, I really want a good night's sleep, right? We all deserve that, because if I can sleep at night, I'm going to have better stress management. I'm going to have better control of my appetite. My cortisol is not going to be going up during the day. I won't be drinking a tons of coffee because I'm already strung out. So when you look at the bigger picture, you have to have a holistic view of your health and, look into a variety of things. So I mentioned a couple of different avenues I am taking throughout the video. And so one of the things I will definitely say is, if you can't sleep, or if you have insomnia, get a sleep study. Get one of those home study tests. Um, I paid for it out of pocket with my doctor. The deductible plan wouldn't cover it. I have a high deductible plan, so I just paid for it out of pocket, and then I got my results. And at first I didn't take my results as seriously because I thought, well, I'm mild. I probably won't have the same type of health problems as somebody that has real, your traditionally diagnosed sleep apnea. Well, that's just not true. I still can't sleep, right? So the recommendation that came out of the study, it was written on the paper, it was typed up. It said for me to work with my dentist to get some kind of mouth guard. Well, I took my paper to the dentist. I said, "Hey, you're more of a functional dentist, you're more holistic. I know that you've worked on this." And so I took my results to the dentist. I said, "Hey, dentist, these are my results. What are the options?" So one of the options was obviously, let's get the device. And then I thought, no, I don't want to be dealing with a device for the rest of my life because I'm still going to have the same problem, really, because if you think about it, that's going to be the way it is. And I told my dentist, I just want to fix this. And the person said that they could help me. And so we started, he wrote up the treatment plan. I considered it. I got a second opinion and decided to work with it. So that's kind of where I'm at. Is I'm in the middle of the treatment. I'll be honest, I'm still working on the myotherapy too. I'm working to strengthen these muscles and also my mouth muscles and my tongue. And I'm also learning how to eat more properly and swallowing. Those are also very important too, because if you're shoving food in your face, it takes you about 20 minutes to get full. So think about eating super fast in 20 minutes or eating slower and letting your appetite, letting your body tell you when to stop. Because if you're eating super fast, there's just no way you're paying attention to your body signals. So I'm still working through all of that. There's definitely another thing that I'd like to look into is maybe working with a breath coach. I learned about a technique called Buteyko breathing, Buteyko, Buteyko breathing. It's a reduced breathing. It's like the opposite of Wim Hof breathing. So Wim Hof breathing, they have you kind of do like a fire breathing in your belly and you're breathing in and out really fast. Buteyko breathing is about reducing your breath so you can maximize the nitric oxide in your body. And actually, all before I went to the treatment and even before I got the sleep study, that improved my sleep. But then I kept waking up all over again, and that was incredibly frustrating. So I'm still practicing elements of the Buteyko breathing, and after I get through certain parts of my treatment, I want to work more on the Buteyko breath. And then the other thing is just doing the mouth exercises here and then here to focus on when you have strong muscles, then they can hold in place better. And actually, you can go out on YouTube and Google mouth sleep apnea exercises. There are some great videos out there. But the thing is you're going to have to be committed to practicing them at least 3 times a day. And then the other thing you can look up is mouth posture on YouTube. And then you'll find videos that show, that teach you how to put your tongue up on the roof of your mouth. Because if your tongue is strong physically and that muscle is strong, it's not going to fall back in your throat as you're sleeping. You're more likely going to hold it in place while you're sleeping. So the reason why I shared this is that sleep is a major pillar of health, right? If you're sleeping right, you're not going to be as stressed the next day. You're going to be able to handle life's unexpected events, right? What life throws at you. 2, you're going to lower your risk at other diseases that could possibly happen later in life. Chronic illnesses like being overweight, diabetes, heart disease. All of these are related to sleep disturbances and sleep apnea. Another thing is a lot of people think they have insomnia, and they might take a test and they might score low enough that they might not even get diagnosed. I would say You know what? If you still have insomnia, go get a second opinion and see if someone else will work with you on a sleep test. Maybe go see a sleep doctor, but always get a second opinion. I think that's another valuable thing is, get a second opinion. If your doctor kind of he says, "Nah, that's not a problem. You just can't sleep." That sleep study didn't show anything. Get a second opinion. Your health, your life is so important. And then maybe talk to some friends. You say, "Hey, I have a sleep problem. I just can't sleep at night. What about you?" And see what they have to say and maybe listen to what they have to say. So I hope by sharing my story, it gave you some breadcrumbs where you guys can go out and research, um, different strategies, techniques, tools to learn how to have better sleep. I think all of those life hacks and all of those habits and routines around sleep are very important. But at the end of the day, if you can't sleep at night, that routine it is pointless as AF, okay? I love them. I think they're great. It's great to see all of these thought leaders and coaches come out and say, "Well, you need to studies show that you should turn your phone off at night because of the blue light. Wear these fancy, very red toned eyeglasses that I am endorsing on my page for $100. Get 10%. Use my code." All that stuff. I think that's awesome. But don't go spending a ton of money, and don't go crazy with all these fancy routines until you go talk to your doctor and you get that sleep study, okay? All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you, and thank you for listening to my story.